Hello viewers, in this video we are going to talk about the T-14 Armata. The T-14 Armata, Russian for Obyekt 148, is a next generation Russian main battle tank based on the Armata Universal Combat Platform, the first series produced next generation tank. The Russian army initially planned to acquire 2,300 T-14s between 2015 and 2020. Production and other major delays delayed this to 2025. And then to the cancellation of the main production run. The test batch of 100 is to be delivered and deployed to the 2nd Guards Tamanskaya Motor Rifle Division, with delivery expected to begin in 2022. Tanks will be transferred only after the completion of all the major trials. The tank was first displayed in public during rehearsals for the 2015 Moscow Victory Day Parade. During the 2015 rehearsals, one of the tanks suddenly stopped moving, and after attempts to tow it failed, it moved away on its own after about 15 minutes. At least 7 T-14 Armatas appeared in the 2015 and 2016 Moscow Victory Day Parade, 5 in 2017 and 2018. 4 were anticipated in promotional materials in advance of the 2019 parade. The Russian Federation was expecting to order 2,300 T-14 main battle tanks for delivery by 2020. In 2015, the Russian media had announced that around 20 tanks had been delivered for testing without naming a source. However, in 2016, the Russian Defense Ministry announced that it had signed a contract for a test batch of 100 T-14 tanks to be delivered 2020, with the full project extended until 2025. In July 2018, Deputy Prime Minister for Space Industry and Defense Yuri Borisov said there is currently no need to mass produce the Armata when its older predecessors, namely the latest variants of the T-72, remain effective against German, American and other MBTs. Saying, why flood our military with Armata? The T-72s are in great demand in the market. Instead, a modernization program, the T-72s, T-80s and T-90s in service will take precedence. In August 2018, at the Army 2018 forum outside Moscow, the Russian Ministry of Defense signed a contract for the purchase of 32 T-14 tanks and 100 T-50 infantry fighting vehicles. The delivery was expected to be finished by 2021. In February 2019, it was announced that the first 12 T-14 tanks will be delivered by the end of that year. In 2019, the Russian Military Industrial Courier reported that out of a contractually agreed 132 Armata platform vehicles over 3 years to 2021, including T-14 and also T-15 and T-16, assuming production of 44 vehicles a year, only 16 will be delivered by the end of 2019. This implied a shortfall of at least 28 vehicles that year. Uralvagon Zavod had apparently suffered severe personal turnover, reportedly linked to financial abuses. By November 2019, the delivery forecast slipped to late 2019 or early 2020. In mid-January 2020, the head of the Rostex said that no Armata platform vehicles, including T-14 tanks, had been delivered. Furthermore, also in February 2020, it became evident that the set of requirements for the intended engine of the tank were not met by the construction bureau and the project of. In August 2020, the Industry and Trade Minister told journalists that the production of 132 Armata platform tanks and fighting vehicles, including T-14 tanks, had begun after the resolution of problems with engines and thermal imaging equipment, and they would be issued to the armed forces in 2021. On March 2021, Defense Minister Army General Sergei Shoigu announced that Russia would receive its first batch of T-14 in 2020. Let's talk about the design. The Armata was designed over a course of 5 years and over a span of 5 years and features a number of innovative characteristics, including an unmanned turret. That is a feature that is not very common in today's tank. This makes it a more futuristic tank. The crew of 3 is seated in an unarmored capsule which is in front of the hull, which also includes a toilet for the crew. The main armament of the T-14 is a 2A82 1M125 mm smoothbore cannon, a replacement for the 2A46 125 mm gun of the previous Russian and Soviet tanks. According to Russian sources, its muzzle energy is greater than that of the Leopard of the German Leopard 2s Rheinmetall 120 mm gun. Which features an include an absence of a fume extractor due to the unmanned turret, a fire rate of 10 to 12 rpm rounds per minute, left side casting injection port for the 125 mm gun, and maximum effective penetration range of 8 km with 80 GMs. Anti-tank guided missiles. The 2A821M 125 mm cannon can fire a wide range of ammunitions, including armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding sabot projectiles, guided missiles, high-explosive anti-tanks shells, air-burst HE frag shells, and other types of rounds. The Vacuum 1 APFST round developed for the 2A82 gun has a penetrator that is 900 millimeters long, approximately 19 centimeters, and is said to be equivalent of penetrating 1 meter of RHA equivalent at a distance of 2 kilometers. The new controlled detonation Telnik HE frag shell is available and has entered service. The gun is capable of firing guided missiles like the 9M 119M1 Invar M, which has an effective range of 100 meters to 5 kilometers, and can engage low flying air targets such as helicopters. With the new 3UBK21 Sprinter 80 GM with an effective range up to 12 kilometers, developed specially for it. 3UBK25 active homing 80 GM is currently under development. It should also be noted that the Russian military plans to upgrade to a massive 152 mm gun, which according to a top Russian official will be able to pierce through nearly 1 meter of steel. The secondary armament consists of a 12.7 into 108 mm quad GRAU Index 6P49 machine gun, 300 rounds. This was not observed during the 2015 Moscow Victory Day Parade. And 7.62 into 54 mmR Pichang PKP machine or a PKTM machine gun with 1,000 rounds. All guns are remotely controlled. In addition, another 1,000 rounds can be stored separately. A 12.7 mm machine gun is installed above the turret roof mounted commander's sight, which avoids visual obstructions. While the turret front has a peculiar slit that is speculated to be intended for the coaxial 7.62 mm machine gun, the tank's turret might be fitted with a Shipunev 2A42 30 mm gun to deal with various targets, including low-flying aerial targets such as attack planes and helicopters. In the future, the T-14 Armata may use the 2A83 152 mm gun instead of its current 2A82 1M 125 mm gun. The cannon, which was first developed in 2000 for the T-95 prototype, has a high-speed APFSDS shell with the 1980 meters per square muzzle velocity, only dropping to 1900 meters square at 2 kilometers. However, Russian engineers have so far kept the 125 mm size gun, sensing that the improvements in ammunition are enough to increase effectiveness, while concluding that a larger bore weapon would offer a few practical advantages. The T-14 can also use anti-aircraft missiles. A 30 mm anti-aircraft gun may be installed in the near future. Let's talk about its powerhouse and its mobility. The T-14 is powered by CHTZ-12N360 diesel engine, delivering up to 1,500 horsepower. The engine's theoretical maximum power not normally used is 2,000 HP at the cost of radically decreasing service life. Projected minimum 2,000 hours at nominal 1,500 horsepower, comparable to other modern tank engines, and up to 10,000 hours at moderated 1,200 horsepower. The engine is electronically controlled. Operational range is over 500 kilometers. The T-14 has a 12-speed automatic gearbox with a top speed of 80 to 90 km per hour and a range of 500 km. At least one expert speculated that the transmission might be an electronically controlled mechanical gearbox with external reverse and demultiplier gears, giving the tank the equal forward and reverse gear ranges. Other sources suggest a partly of fully hydrostatic transmission. Unique for a Soviet-Russian design, the transmission is joined with the engine into a single unit that can be swept out in the field in just under 30 minutes. Unlike previous Russian and Soviet designs such as the T-90, T-72, etc., the T-14 has 700 mm road wheels per side based on the TET variant. It has the ability to adjust the suspension of at least 2 first road wheels and probably the last ones. In 2015 Moscow Victory Day Parade rehearsal video, a T14 is shown retracting one of its frontal first wheels during turns. This, along with published design blueprints, suggests at least a partially hydraulic suspension system based on the adjustable lever arm shock absorbers that now double as suspension actuators. This may have been done intentionally to improve the pivoting ability of the tank, as an active suspension system improves the target lock time by a factor of 2.2 and reduces the time frame between target detection and reaction by 31%, all due to the resulting smoother ride. Much thought was given to the tank's strategic mobility. Its moderate mass of 48 tons allows it to be easily transported by rail or railway or trailer, which conserves its engine and transmissions service life, and to cross the majority of bridges in Russia. Two T-14s with their crew and all the attending equipment can be easily airlifted by the heavy Antonov 124 transport aircraft developed by Antonov Design Bureau. However, the most numerous Russian strategic airlifted, the Ilyushin 76, is only able to lift one T-14 and its needed equipment in its newest PS-90 equipped variant. Let's talk about the protection suite. The T-14's crew of 3 is protected by internal armored capsule. Both the chassis and the turret are equipped with the Malachite dual explosive reactive armor system on the front, sides and the top. The tank uses an integrated computerized control system which monitors the state and functions of all tank modules. In battle, the software can analyze threats and then either suggest or automatically take actions to eliminate them, while without the external threat it can detect and rectify crew errors. Serial production of the Armata platform ceramic armor components began in 2015. The tank features the Afghanit active protection system, which includes a millimeter wave radar to detect, track and intercept incoming anti-tank guided ammunition, both kinetic energy penetrators and tandem charges. Currently, the maximum speed of the interceptable target is 1700 meters per second, or you can say Mach 5 hypersonic, with projected future increases of up to 3000 ms, Mach 8.8. According to a news source, it protects the tank from all sides. However, it is not geared towards the shooting upwards to defend against top attack munitions. Defense Update released an analysis of the tank in May 2015, speculating the Afghan main sensors and the 4 panels mounted on the turret's sides, which are probably SR radar planes spread out for 360-degree view, with possibly one or more on the top of the turret. In their opinion, the active part of the system consists of both a hard kill and a soft kill element, the first of which actively destroys an incoming projectile, while the second confuses the guidance systems of ATGMs, causing them to lose target. They believe it will be effective against 3rd and 4th generation ATGMs, including Hellfire, TUW, Bill, Javelin, Spike, Brimstone, and JAGM, as well as sensor-fused weapons. Some Russian sources claim the hard kill APS is effective even against depleted uranium-core armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot rounds, saying the fragmentation change would not do much to the dense penetrator, while it might be able to push it off course somewhat with a hit-to-kill approach. It likely will not do much to stop it. According to a Russian Ministry of Defense source, practical tests confirm the destruction of the uranium sub-caliber projectile. However, several outside analysts remain skeptical as the feat has not been yet independently verified or even publicly demonstrated. So that's it, folks. That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to click the like button. Don't forget to share this video, and do not forget to drop a comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.